Hi guys,
Perfect.
let me introduce you to Hannah, one of my amazing clients who has been making unbelievable progress working with me over the past few months. To be precise, Hannah has now lost 40 pounds in around 4 months and brought her BMI down from 35 to a healthy 24, which is amazing in such a short space of time. So, Hannah, thanks for coming on. Do you
Thank
mind
you.
giving us some background about what your life was like before we started working together and what were the challenges you faced day to day in terms of your health and fitness?
So I gave birth in July 22 and I had a really difficult time with giving birth, very traumatic birth. And I think kind of following on from that, my BMI was really high. I was considered as medically obese. I was just really, really struggling with my weight. So it's taken quite a while. Obviously, we're in 2025 now. I just felt like I didn't have any structure. I was doing all the wrong things in terms of food. I was definitely binge drinking, binge eating as well. And I think it's taken quite a while to get to this point. Kind of like postpartum can be really difficult, anyways. I think when you're working a lot and you're doing lots of hours, you're also trying to balance your home life as well. But I think I just felt very, very tired at the time. I felt very kind of self-conscious of myself. There was clothes that I couldn't fit in from before I'd got pregnant with my daughter. And I think, it's been really life changing. I think this year I'm coming up to like my daughter's 3 year, it's her third birthday coming up in July. And I just think the difference between then is just, it's phenomenal. And as you said, I've managed to do it in quite a relatively short space of time because I didn't start doing this until kind of late February, early March to
Uh,
2025.
yeah, cool. No, thanks for sharing that. So what do you think it was in the end that made you decide enough's enough and something needs to change and that you needed some help?
I think it was like knowing I was actually coming up to the third year afterwards. And I thought, actually, no, it's not just like 6 months postpartum anymore. This is coming up to a good few years now. And it was actually your wife, Claire, because I followed her on Instagram and I saw she was resharing your post. And that's when I messaged her and I said, like, can you let me know a little bit more about this? What's Phil doing and so on? And then it was kind of from there when I got in touch with you. And yeah, I've never looked back since.
Yeah. And what's been the most helpful or surprising part of the coaching and what we've done?
I really like the weekly check-ins. I think that helps and it makes me stay accountable to myself, but also to you as well. I think it can be really difficult to
Yeah.
kind of wanting to eat healthily, to diet, to do exercise by yourself can be really challenging. So being able to have that weekly online check-in is really helpful. The app I found very helpful in terms of like tracking measurements, um, in terms of tracking like my daily intake, but also I think it's changed my mind on certain things as well. Obviously we worked out together to work out my calories, but being able to have like specific macros, like looking at my fats and my carbs and things like that, was actually really helpful. Kind of being able to work out what I wanted to be eating to kind of fuel my body in the best way. And I think that's been like really quite educating because I didn't really know much about before that.
Mm, cool. No, that's great. Yeah, the diet structure and planning was obviously a big thing. I know from a training perspective, we
Yeah,
started you off with a very, very basic training plan, something that, you said at the start you didn't really have the confidence in the gym. So we
yeah,
stuck to really basic stuff, machines, and then as you gained confidence, we started to move away. We started to build additional exercises in and branch out and build your confidence in other areas. Apart from the physical weight loss itself, and obviously the added strength and confidence that you've gained in the gym, what else do you feel you've gained or achieved?
I have a lot more energy than I used to, which is weird because I'm still like going to the gym 3 times a week. I'm still, I'm still working and so on. I've got a busy life, but actually I have got a lot more energy than I used to previously. But I think that's because I'm fueling myself, like in terms of food. I am fueling myself in a better way, and so I have got that energy. But things like I think mentally, it's made a massive difference. I've been able to reduce some of my kind of my anti-anxiety medication, which has made a big difference as well.
Great.
And I think having that mental health impact is important as well. Kind of and also obviously it's been pleasing to see on the app how you can see the kind of progressive what do you call it? Is a progressive overload?
Progressive
What
overload.
what's the
Yep.
yeah, that's the I was trying to remember the term. Yeah, so over time, just seeing actually how my weights have gone up in terms of what I can lift and so on. And actually, like mentally, that's been like a big confidence boost as well to see it over time. But things like just tracking, taking the photos, I know you were encouraging us to do that. And actually, at first it can feel really weird, but once you start to notice the difference in yourself, but it's also like you know you're losing weight anyways because your clothes are fitting better. You can, people are commenting on it. Um, but actually being able to see those physical photos of how much you've changed as well is really important. But I think, I've got a daughter and it's obviously it's busy with toddlers, being able to run after them all the time, having the energy to play with them. Even things like previously I was finding it really hard to lift her. But actually now, like just having the confidence to do things like that, I think that's been like a massive boost for me as well.
Yeah. I mean, that's amazing. I love hearing things like this. But you mentioned the photos, and I've not seen before and after photos like it. It's like literally
Yeah.
two different
Mm-hmm.
people, completely two different
Mm-hmm.
people. And as you say, you're a little bit unsure and wary of
Yeah,
taking photos
first,
at
yeah.
first, but
Mm-hmm.
it's so worth it when you get to see the
Yeah,
end result side by side.
yeah, absolutely. And I think just like it's a big wake up call as well. And I think being able to see like the difference and knowing like what an obese BMI looks like versus a healthy BMI, actually that's really important. And I think, it's massively changed my mindset, kind of how I approach certain things. And throughout it, I have been able to like, I've still socialized, I've still went out, I've still drank and so on, but actually being able to track that properly so that I don't end up in a kind of bad spiral from it has been really important. But also things like, if you know you're going to be going to the gym and you know you've got certain exercise that you're doing, you'll make sure that you eat the proper things. You'll make sure that that you're trying to do the very best that you can in the gym. And for me, like that's manageable 3 times a week is like perfect. And that is with being like a teacher and working nearly full time as well. Obviously, that is quite challenging.
Yeah, you made a good point there about the socializing because I know you've been to Disneyland, you've
Yeah,
had other
hen
holidays, you've had
do's, weddings.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Mhm.
yeah, and just being able to make better choices
Yeah.
and develop those habits has made such a huge
Mhm.
difference. Um, we're not done that yet, though, are we? We've
No,
we've got big plans next.
yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the big things for me is just how sustainable this is coming, which is really good because what you don't want is like a crash diet for like 4 or 5 weeks. That wouldn't
Exactly.
work for me at all. So knowing that I've still been able to live my life during it, still being able to socialize, and actually it's become very much part of my routine now. Like previously, I mean, I would never have said this about going to the gym or doing exercise, but actually, because I enjoy it now and I enjoy being able to track it, it's something that I'm looking forward to in terms of like next steps. Yeah, I just want to feel a lot more. I feel very confident myself now, but just that kind of there's a little bit extra. I want to kind of, I know you don't like necessarily this word tone up, but like just being able to build a bit more strength. But as I've been saying, like I can see it, like I can see the definition more in my arms, I can see it in my leg muscles, and yeah, like it's actually like it's quite empowering, I would say, like over time to see the progress that I've made. So knowing now where I am, I know that I want to progress further on it, particularly in some of the like heavier weights that I'm starting to kind of push towards in the gym.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we did talk about there's maybe a little small amount of weight we still want to lose, but then
Yeah,
we'll start bringing the
potentially.
calorie
Yeah.
we'll
Mm-hmm.
start bringing the calories up, we'll start bringing the
Yeah.
protein
Mm-hmm.
up, and we'll start pushing the
Mm-hmm.
weight and really start developing that shape
Yeah.
and building a
Mm-hmm.
bit more muscle as well. Brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, so that's what's coming next. Finally, if someone else is watching this and feels like you did before, maybe a bit stuck, low on confidence, not sure what to do with themselves next, what would you advise them?
I would 100% recommend. I think having that kind of accountability, having that structure and that routine makes a massive, massive difference. And you can really kind of there's the flexibility with it as well. Like you can obviously I can message you whenever, I can have that advice and that really kind of one-to-one tailored nutritional
Yeah,
advice or whether it's kind of, advice for the gym and so on. I would definitely recommend people to do it. I think for me, it's like a big confidence thing. I wasn't previously somebody who would go to the gym. I wasn't somebody who knew about kind of all this terminology, but being able to talk about it now, yeah, I think it's really important. And also I think it's like, it's the community aspect of it as well. Like, obviously with the online community, that's quite helpful to have other people, and you can look at what they're doing as well. But also, I think even just, actually in the gym, meeting other people and having the confidence to speak to other people, I would recommend it to anybody. I think it's it's life changing, really. It's so important for your health. And I think particularly, if you are like me, like you have a tendency to put on weight, actually it keeps you on a very kind of structured mindset and a structured routine. And I think that's really important.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. You've been amazing to coach, by the way,
Thank you.
for the past few months.
Thanks.
I'm really looking forward to seeing what we do next. Um, Thank you for joining the call and sharing
No
that
problem.
experience. Look forward to seeing how you get on in your next check-in. Obviously, um, you've shown what's possible when you commit
Yeah. Hmm.
to yourself and to the
Hmm.
process. So, if anyone's watching this and they're ready to change, like Hannah has, drop me a message or drop a comment below, and we'll have a chat. But thanks again,
Brilliant.
Hannah. Cheers.
Thank you. Thanks, Phil. Thanks. Bye.
Bye.